Guys, I'm Stefani Carter. It is so great to be here tonight with the Garland Tea Party, not just because we share the same conservative philosophy, but because we all are concerned about the direction of our country and our state. I don't see my opponent here. I'm sure she wasn't invited. I'm running against a liberal Democrat. For those who don't know, she was just elected in 2008. And you know, the fact that she isn't here tonight, I think, thumbs her nose to this group here. And certainly she must know the importance of the Tea Party and its effect on American politics. I was born in House District 102, raised in House District 102 for many years. After graduating from public schools, went to UT Austin, went to Harvard Law School, and returned home to be close to my big family of 8. I'm a former prosecutor, so I care greatly about reducing crime. Used to work at the Heritage Foundation, got really involved out of law school in Republican politics, did the walking, knocking, and talking, and love it very much. Eventually, I was appointed to a state board called the State Board for Educator Certification, and I resigned about a year ago to run for Texas House. I have a lot of issues that I'm concerned with. We have to focus tremendous efforts on creating jobs. We have to balance the budget without raising taxes. We must reform immigration policy. Yes, we have to work against socialized medicine. And there's just a whole laundry list of things. Please go out and check out our booth. I have 10 seconds remaining. Thank you for your support. Again, I'm Stefani Carter, and I appreciate being here tonight.
Thank you, Stephanie. All these invitations were sent out to every candidate through their county chair. So you are correct. She was invited. Your first question: if you have pledged support for a speaker, who, and if not, why?
I will say that, quite frankly, I'm focused on my own race. I've had a lot of questions from wonderful Tea Party folks who've come out and helped us at the door. We've knocked on thousands and thousands of doors. And some of them, last weekend, last Sunday, actually asked for, whom are you supporting for speaker? And what are you going to do about the speaker's race? And my answer to them is the same answer I'll get tonight, and that is there a speaker's race? I don't even know about it because I'm so involved in my own race. I don't pay attention to any of the races, and so that is the answer that I told them, and I'll say that here tonight as well.
Okay, our next question is, considering that redistricting will consume the 2011 session, are you prepared to press the governor for a special session to pass a Texas version of the Arizona and Oklahoma illegal immigration laws, and if not, why?
Well, here's the deal. We have a tremendous problem in our state with illegal immigration. It's costing us $4 billion a year in incarceration and education of the U.S. born children and the siblings. And we clearly have to do something. I think that we shouldn't necessarily be limited to what Arizona's doing. The reality is there are a lot of states that are doing good things. I think more than anything, I support what Mississippi's doing. The legislature there passed the E-Verify. I support requiring at least some employers to use the E-Verify system. That means that they could go to the computer, type in the information, it takes a nanosecond. Human resources people love it, it's free. And we're going to put some fines on those employers who, in fact, say, we're going to go ahead and hire illegals anyway, not anymore. And I do think that that will pass with flying colors. We have to make sure we have a strong Republican majority. I'm running in a Republican district, first Democrat. The lady I'm running against, first Democrat since 1972 to represent us. And we need that seat back. It's always considered a top 5 Republican seat in this state. That is top 5 for us to gain opportunities in the House. We gain the seat back, we have an even stronger Republican majority so we can pass good immigration laws like E-Verify and of course like voter ID, which my opponent is against.
Thank you. What is your plan for protection against mandates that you consider unconstitutional?
Well, I'm a strong believer in the 10th Amendment. You know, power reserved to the states, rights reserved to the states. The 10th Amendment, that's right. We have that amendment here for a reason. You know, the founders, you know, I mean, I can go into the whole story about the 10th Amendment, but the short answer is we have to stand by it. And what is my plan? To invoke the 10th Amendment as much as we need under the Constitution.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. We'll do questions here in a moment. You can have a seat for us.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have Kenneth Sheets, House District 107. Come on up, Kenneth.
Thanks to all the folks who are here tonight. Mike Cantrell, County Commissioner, District Number 2. Andrew Grant, County Criminal Court, Number 8. Eugene Roberts, District Court, Number 44.
Thank you, Mr. Sheets. You have a minute and a half. Tell us who you are and why you're running.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, everyone, thanks for coming out to this great event this evening, and thanks for the Garland Tea Party for putting this on. I'm going to try to keep my answers brief tonight. First, I'm a local attorney, and I'm a Marine Corps reservist, and I'm going to spend my time here first telling you why I'm running. Like most of you, or probably most of you, I'm fed up with what I see happening in our government. I look to Washington, and I see uncontrollable spending and policies that are attacking our future and threatening our freedom. And then I look to other large states, like California, New York, and Illinois. And these states are in trouble. California is on the verge of bankruptcy, and I am afraid that could happen here in Texas. And there are those people here in Texas that do believe that we should follow the model and the example of California. And I'm not one of them. And my opponent, Representative Alan Vaught, is a nice gentleman, but he just votes wrong. I am a limited government conservative that believes in less spending and strong security. And I am the candidate that will best represent our values and our interests here in Texas. And that's why I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
All right, have you pledged support for a House Speaker? And if you have, who is it? And if you have not, why?
I have not, and I am not going to, because right now I'm more concentrated on winning the race that I'm in, and I will worry about those issues after I'm elected.
Okay, considering that redistricting will consume the 2011 session, are you prepared to press the governor for a special session to pass a Texas version of the Arizona and Oklahoma illegal immigration laws? And if not, why?
Well, I'm going to tell you, first of all, immigration is one of the biggest issues that I'm hearing when I'm out knocking on doors and I'm talking to people in my district. They're fed up with what they see happening with the illegal immigration problem. They understand that it's a failure on the federal government's level. What I think the first thing we need to do is that we need to enforce the laws that we have on the books. And if we do that, that will go a long way. We need to make sure we secure our border. And I think Irving's a great example of that, enforcing the laws that are on the books. That's the program that Irving's doing right now, and their crime rate has dropped as a result. But yes, we do need to do something about immigration, and I'm fully in support of looking at all of our options to see what would work here in Texas.
All right, what is your plan for protection from mandates that you consider unconstitutional?
Well, first of all, I fully support what the Attorney General is doing, and that's the first thing I'm doing, is I'm throwing all my support behind the Attorney General, especially when it comes to the Obamacare bill. Clearly an unconstitutional bill that is infringing upon states' rights and frankly is forcing us as individuals to purchase products or get fined for not doing so. So the first thing we do is we support the Attorney General, and then we pass laws that would obviously, similar to what they're doing in Florida and I believe it's Virginia, that passed a law that said that you can't do Obamacare here.
Next up, we have District 112, Troy Camplin, who is running against Angie Chinbutton. You can come on up, please.
One of the folks who are here tonight, Mike Lee, District Court number 116. Landon Myers, go ahead. Landon Myers with 5th District Court of Appeals, place 14. Bonnie B. Goldstein, also 5th District Court of Appeals, place 14.
Thank you, Mr. Camplin. You have a minute and a half, so tell us who you are and why you're running.
All right. My name is Troy Camplin. I moved to Texas in order to attend UT Dallas to get my PhD in humanities. Of course, I got that 6 years ago, so obviously I decided that I liked Richardson, and I decided to stick around. I moved here from Kentucky, which makes me part of a long tradition of Scotch-Irish from Kentucky and Tennessee coming through Texas. Reason why I'm running, I've always sort of wavered between being a Republican and a Democrat. A Republican and a Libertarian, I mean, Democrat. Kind of slipped out, certainly not for you. I've always wavered between being a Republican and a Libertarian. And the reason why is that I kept thinking to myself, you know, I've got to be practical. I've got to be practical. I've got to vote Republican because they're closest to me and are able to win. But over the years, it has become increasingly clear that the Republican Party keeps moving further and further left. And so the question to you is, do you want to elect a conservative who is actually conservative? Or someone for whom conservative means, I'm going to conserve the status quo?
Thank you, Mr. Camplin. Your first question is, have you pledged support for a House Speaker? If you have, who, and if not, why?
I have not, because I'm not too familiar with who is running, to be honest with you. This, of course, you know, should I be elected, I will most certainly familiarize myself with the issues and with who is running and with whom I would throw my support behind.
Thank you.
Okay, next question. Considering that redistricting will consume the 2011 session, are you prepared to press the governor for a special session to pass a Texas version of the Arizona and Oklahoma illegal immigration laws, and if not?
Well, I understand the idea behind the Arizona law. The idea behind the Arizona law is the federal government isn't doing its job. And that is the federal government's job, to secure our borders. That's the federal government's job. And Arizona is saying, you know what, if you're not going to do your job, we'll do your job for you. If that's what it takes, then maybe that is what Texas needs to do. My preference would be for Texas to sue the federal government to get them to do their job. Well, that's what the lawsuit's for.
Thank you, Mr. Camplin. What is your plan for protection against mandates that you consider unconstitutional?
Mandates that I consider to be unconstitutional, that would be every mandate. So, when I look at the Constitution, I see that the federal government is allowed to do a few things. One, secure order. Two, provide for national defense. Three, provide a free market, a free trade zone among the states. And that's where it ends. Everything else is unconstitutional. Therefore, everything else should be resisted by the states. That is not, the vast majority of what our federal government does is illegal. And it is the duty of the states then to resist that federal government. That's what the 10th Amendment is about. The 10th Amendment says that anything not explicitly given to the federal government goes to you and then the states. Yep. So it is you, then the states, then the federal government.
Yep. Thank you. If you folks go ahead and take your seat, we'll get to questions at the end of the state rep segment.